All right, ding. It is 10 o'clock on the west coast of the U.S. It is 0500 GMT. It's Anything Can Happen Thursday. Perhaps the most fun night of the week on cBass After Dark, because this is where we really throw out all the rules and can do anything we can do. My hair looks like pretty much utter shit. It's been kind of a long week, but that's okay. Thank you for being here. By the way, you can call 310-776-5869. You can also tweet at Sebastian Kuntz if you have anything to throw in there, whether it's live at this time, 10 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, or 0500 GMT, or whether you're watching on tape. Even if you're watching on tape, you can text, you can call, you can tweet, you can do whatever, and I will certainly get the message and reply back. Here's what's coming up. Oh boy, the amount of stuff coming up on Anything Can Happen Thursday is usually much longer than the regular lists of stuff. So forgive me if it goes on a little bit longer, but sorry, my show is on. Anyway, they're trying to get me to talk about, or trying to get me to sort of feign interest in the MMA, mixed martial arts, where people just kick each other's ass. And I really don't have a lot of interest in hand-to-hand combat, frankly. The only hand-to-hand combat I have any interest in at all is professional wrestling. That's because it's the most honest of all of the sports, because it doesn't try to hide that it's full of shit the way the NFL tries to hide that it's full of shit. Cheating scandals come out and people are horrified. It's like, well, I guess what? The actual, program is predetermined from the get-go. You just don't like it because you have built up this illusion in your head your entire life that, in fact, football is real and is not it's an honest sport, and all you people who believe in the honesty of sports really make me sad. All right, here's what's coming up in tonight's show. A look at the Anything Can Happen Thursday is all over the map, bragging about your DUI online, a whole list of people who did the wrong thing on the social networks and then ended up paying for it severely in some cases. Star Wars Selfie Shame, one of the only really serious stories we have. A guy who took a selfie with Darth Vader in a cardboard stand-up was actually mistakenly thought to have been photographing some woman's kids. Like he was taking a selfie of himself at the front-facing camera, but some woman assumed she was taking a photo of her kids with the back-facing camera and ended up photographing him and posting his picture online and basically doing the internet annihilation of someone that many people have participated in here and there. And turned out he was innocent, and yet she didn't apologize. We'll look at the Star Wars Selfie Shame story coming up. The ugly side of the GroupOn condom, the haircut that's banned in the nation of Iran, an update on the skeletons that we first brought you here, the skeletons found in the bottom of an Arizona lake, sitting in chairs wearing sunglasses. What the hell was up with that? The people responsible surfaced this week, no pun intended. More porno titles, the search for the guy who jerked off at the Waffle House. It's going to be a big, huge fucking barn burner here on cBass After Dark. Let's start with the people bragging about their DUI on the internet, because it takes a really special kind of stupid person to want to brag about that sort of thing, and yet people do brag about that sort of thing, and guess what happens? Well, we'll start with, not that one, we'll start with this one. Driver who tweeted, "Too drunk to care," sentenced to 24 years in prison for killing two in a wrong-way car crash. When I said one of those stories earlier in the list was the only serious story, that was unfair, because these are actually sometimes very serious stories where the person who was too drunk to care is now going to jail.
It might be my fault, but at the end of the day, I'm a human being just like everyone else. I have a heart and it aches every day. The guilt is overwhelming. I know that absolutely nothing that I say or do will ever change what happened, and I will never bring it back.
Never bring you back. That's right, honey. One of the things I often think about when I hear drunk drivers who killed people weeping for their own mercy like that is, hey, it never occurred to you to not drink alcohol, did it? Did it? I mean, when did the possibility, we live in a culture, frankly, so it's partially, I guess, the cultural thing about how adults just automatically drink alcohol. That's just how it is. And if you don't drink alcohol, there's something fucked up with you. There's something wrong with you. There's something not trustworthy about you. You don't drink? You don't drink alcohol? What's wrong with you? But then people like this, you know, and it's not like there's not a happy medium in there where some people can drink a little bit of alcohol, enjoy themselves very much as that flabbergasts me, and not kill people in a drunken driving accident. People do it all the time, in fact. But at the same time, these people sobbing for their own mercy, I'm a human being just like you, never occurred to you to fucking not drink alcohol, did it, bitch? I see no mercy whatsoever coming towards you, and you'll get no fucking sympathy from me whatsoever. There she is. Look how cute she is in her little fucking selfie. She's too drunk to care. Right before she killed a pair of best friends in a fatal wrong way crash in 2013, was sentenced. This is from May 5th, so about 9 days ago. Kayla Mendoza pleaded guilty to 2 counts of DUI manslaughter. At her sentencing, she read a tearful apology, telling her that her guilt is overwhelming and she wishes she could trade spaces with the women she killed. So do I. At the end of the day, I'm a human being just like everybody else. I have a heart and it aches every day. My heart will be changed and I never will be the person I was before. Hey, maybe you'll decide to not drink alcohol in the future, or at least not get fucked up. She was driving the wrong way on the Sawgrass Expressway in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, killing these 2 21-year-old girls. She wasn't legally old enough to drink at the time of the crash, also didn't have a driver's license, so the problems start to compound. Hours before the fatal collision, she tweeted she was too drunk to care from a Twitter account where she dubbed herself a pothead princess and bragged that her car permanently smelled like marijuana. Okay. She'd also been drinking at a Coral Springs restaurant prior to the crash, had a blood alcohol level of 0.15. She also told, the Florida Highway Patrol also said she had traces of marijuana in her system, shocking from the pothead princess. Broke both her legs in the crash, was hospitalized for several weeks. The 2 victims died as well. The victims' families appear unmoved, thank goodness. You took everything I worked so hard to keep safe and protected and destroyed it in 1 second, 1 careless second. You destroyed it all, said the mother of one of the victims. How do you forgive someone that ruined your life and your family's life forever? There you have it. Well, that story got me thinking, how many other people have bragged about it? Here's one from January of last year. Facebook brag about drunk driving, gets a teen arrested. It's not a good idea to brag about your crimes on Facebook, retards. Teenagers famous for doing stupid things and bragging about them online. Not only are they famous, I mean, it's biological. Their brains aren't developed enough to consider consequences in many cases. Drunk driving, classic. But to whoever's vehicle I hit, I am sorry. Sticking out your tongue, smiley face, emoticon. The 18-year-old wrote on his Facebook page, Jacob Cox Brown. His friends might have laughed, but the cops didn't. Astoria police have an active social media presence. It was a private Facebook message to one of our officers that got this case moving through. City of Astoria police went to Cox Brown's home and discovered damage on his vehicle that matched that of a report from hit-and-run activity in a nearby neighborhood earlier. He was arrested and booked on 2 counts of failing to perform the duties of a driver. A police spokesperson told KGW-TV a Facebook post isn't sufficient evidence to get him charged for driving while intoxicated, so it's likely he will just get a slap on the wrist. One hopes that he at least learns something from that enough to where he won't drunk drive and kill someone. Now I want to go and look up his picture. What's his name again? Jacob Cox Brown. Let's just do a search for that. Images. Jacob Cox Brown. Oops. There he is. And he's like obviously associated with this tweet. There he is. Look how proud he is to be drunk driving. Driving drunk. Classic with 3 S's. But whoever's vehicle I hit, I am sorry. Is there any video of him? I'll look at him. There's his Facebook page as well. Are there any videos of him? There's news stories, looks like with his picture, but it doesn't look like any videos of him. Let's just see. I mean, it looked like
what's up, everybody? Afro Joe here. Doing nothing.
Whatever. Afro Joe. Thank you, Afro Joe. Liveleak.com. Maybe this will be something. Oh, this is just another version of the story. And somebody's cute little 24-second video. I don't really need the music. He posts this picture on Facebook after drunk driving accident. I guess that's him wearing gloves, it looks like. Whatever. Okay. That's why I don't try and do searches like this on the fly for people who have done stupid things, because essentially you never really find anything good. But there he is. There's the picture of the kid who hopefully learned something before he kills somebody. Let's go to another of the stories here. There's a whole bunch of them, and it's pretty sad when you think about it, because of all the preventable ways of sort of, doing a crime and not getting caught. Perhaps number one on the list is not going on Twitter and saying you did it, because they can go back and find it later, among other millions of things. Okay, here we go. Bragging on Facebook about DUI, nothing to LOL about. Is this another story? This is in Denver, but this is sort of a review of a number of places. This is actually from a Denver lawyer website, so that's just sort of advising people not to do that. Okay, here we go. Oh, there's Jacob again. Jacob Cox Brown, 18 years old, classic driving drunk. Woman brags about passing a breathalyzer on Facebook, and that violates her DUI probation. An interesting twist there. A woman bragged about passing a breathalyzer test in a status update despite the fact that she drank the night before, inadvertently confessing to violating a probation for a previous DUI. 22-year-old Colleen Cudney called in the day after St. Patrick's Day for a random breathalyzer, a requirement of her probation. The post in question via WDIV. Buzz killer for me. I had to breathalyze this morning, and I drank yesterday, but I passed, thank God. LOL, my dumbass. A police officer spotted the post and told her probation officer. When the office called Cudney for a follow-up urine test, which would have shown whether she'd indulged during the previous 80 hours, oh, look at this, she hung up. Most observers had the usual comments, but the most succinct came from Thomas Boyce of Inkster. People post some crazy things. They don't think before they do anything. Hanging up on her PO is another violation of her probation, and one for which she will answer in court. If convicted, she could be sentenced to 93 days. Unless usually someone has to threaten the president on social media to land themselves in jail, but a number of cases similar to Cudney's have popped up, and they put Jacob Cox Brown there as well. And let's see, right here we have the 8 dumb criminals caught through Facebook that I just thought was worth a quick pass through in the end of our story here. Police busted a Bronx, New York gang December 5th after alleged gang members wrote openly about illegal activity on Facebook and Instagram. Members of the gang WTG, sounds like a TV station or radio station. They attempted to disguise their language using terms like Glock with 2 C's, Swammy, and Hammer for firearms, but police quickly cracked the code. The 10 suspects, all between 17 and 27, now face 6 counts, of conspiracy to commit murder, assault, weapons. Oh my. Well, where's this coming from? That's coming from here. Is there a video on this I can mute, please? Well, let's just mute that. Is that this? What is the audio coming from on this goddamn story? Sorry about this. I try to also eliminate this whenever possible. Oh, it's from this one here, which I can just close. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Back to this. WTG isn't the first and won't be the last to be outed after oversharing on Facebook. Police departments across the country have amped up their digital presences, and they figured out it's a really easy way to catch stupid-ass criminals. So here's the top 10. Chris Crego, or the top 8, I think. Yes, 8 dumb criminals. Okay, here we go. Chris Crego of Lockport was arrested for assault after a bar fight in 2009. When he didn't show up for sentencing, they issued a warrant for his arrest. Turned out he'd already fled the state. Didn't matter. A quick Google search was all it took. Lockport police easily tracked down both his Facebook and MySpace accounts. Boy, this is back in 2009, isn't it? MySpace? Crego had updated his current location to Terre Haute, Indiana, his place of employment. And here's the kicker, even his work hours. He also posted his wanted picture from the newspaper in Lockport. Yeah, did they also not realize the internet is, nationwide, even worldwide. Okay, here's another one. This 20-year-old Michael Baker was jailed after he posted a photo of himself siphoning gas from a police vehicle. There's the photo. The photo shows him flipping the bird while swiping fuel from a Jenkins PD squad car. The photo circulated through the town of 2000. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm surprised, a town that small, you don't even need the internet. Before long, Baker was charged with theft for unlawful tanking and spent the night in the slammer. It didn't seem to embarrass him or deter his Facebook habit. That's the part that really bothers me, is many of them are sort of proud of the wrong thing, and this is a case of that. He posted this on his page. Yeah, LOL, I went to jail over Facebook. It wasn't over Facebook. It was over your own theft of gas. Okay. 2 men were arrested in April 2012 for planning deadly medieval-like booby traps along a popular hiking trail. 19-year-old Benjamin Rutkowski and 21-year-old Kai Christensen were tipped off to police after they chatted to each other about the traps through Facebook. The men claimed they'd set up the traps to kill animals, not people, along a popular hiking trail near Provo. One of the traps in particular was designed to swing a grapefruit-sized rock armed with wooden spikes at whoever set it off. There's actually a photo there. Let's just click that really fast and see if that gets us anywhere. Oh my God, seriously? I assume this is Mashable. That's fairly reliable, I guess. Always log out. Oh, this is going to be good. Woman came home to find 2 diamond rings missing. She also noted someone had logged into Facebook on her computer and forgotten to log out. 19-year-old Jonathan Parker, the burglar, was easily tracked down and the stolen jewelry was returned. That's like the shortest and funniest one so far. Rondi Knight Jr., 19 years old, of WDC, broke into Washington Post reporter Mark Fisher's home back in January 2011. He got a coat, petty cash, and a laptop and logged into his son's Facebook account. I wonder if that was on purpose or just not knowing that logging in doesn't, if you log into a Facebook account on your computer all the time, you sort of forget that you have to log in because it automatically stays logged in many cases. I wonder if why would he post a photo of himself with soon-to-be stolen goods on another person's Facebook unless you thought it was your own Facebook? The freebie mugshot led to his arrest. He pleaded guilty to both burglary and carrying a pistol without a license. DC police, one officer dubbed him the most stupid criminal he'd ever encountered. Beach Blues. Maxi Sopo was excited about his vacation to Cancun. It was more of an escape from the law than a vacation. 26-year-old had just defrauded a handful of Seattle banks out of $200,000. You know how far $200,000 can get you in Cancun? Just don't brag about it on the internet. In the midst of all the excitement, he made the rookie mistake of adding a former Justice Department official to his list of friends on Facebook. The result, less beach bars, more iron bars. That's pretty well written, actually. His constant updates made it easy for cops to find him. He pleaded guilty to 4 counts of bank fraud, 33 months in prison. 7 out of 8, be careful who you like. A registered sex offender earlier this year was arrested after an unfortunate liking incident. 29-year-old Dylan with 2 L's Nature fled to Virginia after he became wanted in Maryland. An attempt to keep a close eye on the local police force. His girlfriend, 22-year-old Samantha Dow, liked the Tazewell Police Department's Facebook page. The like gave police direct access to her account, which included a picture of Nature. Nature? After a bit more digging, they found their address and arrested both the next day. Last but not least, James Tyndall of Oregon, a convicted thief, was tired of the court-ordered drug treatment he accepted to avoid prison, so he packed up his bags and left the state, but not without a little virtual taunting. Tyndall was apparently eager to boast about his escape from Oregon. He updated his Facebook profile almost constantly as he drove across the country. He directed many of these sneery posts towards his probation officer, as though he can't read it, fresh out of another state. Catch me if you can. In another, he avoided discretion entirely. I'm in Alabama. Well, guess what? He was pulled over for speeding, as if that weren't the icing on the cake. Ran his license, found a warrant that had been issued for his arrest because of the jaunty taunts there. Tyndall was ordered to reimburse the state $2,600 for his flight back to Oregon, and was sent $2,600 for a flight, and was sent to prison for 30 months, according to PC World. You love it when a crime story makes it into PC World, not a magazine or publication typically devoted to crime stories. Oh yes, anything can happen Thursday here on cBas After Dark. My hair looks like shit. I'm not, LOL. Okay. If I were to go on social media with this hairdo, I would probably instantly be arrested for that. Okay. What else? Where is a spiky haircut illegal? In Iran, they have banned the devil-worshipping spiky haircut and also male eyebrow plunking. I'm sorry, those boys have pretty hot-looking haircuts, if you ask me. I would not know they were Iranian just on the basis of their skin or their hairdo. In fact, I would have almost guaranteed they were from Southern California with hair like that. But such style of hair are devil-worshipping and homosexual, if you ask the officials in Iran. Devil-worshipping hairstyles are forbidden, according to the Iranian barbershop union head, Mostafa Govani. Any shop that cuts hair in the devil-worshipping style will be harshly dealt with, no doubt about that, and their license revoked. Also, tattoos, tanning bed treatments, and male eyebrow plucking are also forbidden. They love the hair in the Islamic religion, Muslim religion. And businesses offering such services violate the Islamic system's regulations. No cutting hair. These latest rules, oops, I clicked on that, didn't mean to. These latest rules come ahead of summer when authorities tend to crack down on dress and appearance. Violation could result in arrest. Many city youth, nonetheless, attempt to push the boundaries. Seriously? Oh, necklace ban. Okay. Barbers have received a list of approved haircuts. Haircuts that show symbols or signs of devil worshippers or those adopted by homosexuals are banned. I won't allow such wrongful Western styles as long as I'm in this position. Excessive hair gel and eyebrow plucking were also on the 2010 list of no-nos, as they have been in the past. Here's something I get behind, though. 100% behind this. They also have banned the outdated mullet. So, it's, as this person says, getting rid of mullets doesn't seem like the worst idea. Hair gel, eyebrow plucking are staples for many Iranian men and American men who have plenty of hair to tame. Again, I realize I'm in a bad position to be saying this, but I like those spiky haircuts. If I had hair that could do that, I would absolutely be all over those guys. Because of their hair, you know. That's hot. All right, there's our driver who tweeted "too drunk to care." Oh, here's another back to the stupid criminals thing. We can actually enjoy this story briefly. This is a video story, 30 seconds long.
Being smart and safe is usually a good way to keep out of trouble on social media, especially if you're a wanted criminal suspect. One man in Montana was arrested after he liked his own wanted poster on Facebook. Montana police posted the photo on a Crime Stoppers Facebook page, and Levi Charles Reardon couldn't help but give the post a thumbs up. Authorities were able to track him down with just one click. He was arrested without any problems.
Well, there you have it. So yes, if you end up being somehow wanted, at the very least, don't like your own mugshot on the wanted page. I find it's many of those cases are sad, right? The one with where the girl killed two other girls because of her DUI, that is absolutely uncool in the most serious way. So that's not funny. But at the same time, the stupidity is so mind-boggling that it's in a way funny. It would be funny if not for two people dying. That's what I want to say. It would be funny. It's not funny. It would be if two people hadn't had to die for that. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. This is a serious story and involves Star Wars, but it's actually really kind of upsetting in this modern internet culture, this shaming culture, this internet kind of excoriation and annihilation and immolation that we can subject people to the second that they do something that we don't like. This is from actually Snopes.com, May 11th, so this is a very recent story, but a dad was creep shamed over a Star Wars selfie. There's the picture he took. Now his face has been blurred out here. But back on May 6th in Australia, a father of three was caught up in a creep shaming controversy after a Star Wars selfie snapped at a Target store kicked off a chain of mistaken assumptions.
Reactions from everyone.
Thank you, no. And an embarrassing Facebook rumor. This was a case of absolute incorrect shaming. The man in question was an innocent shopper who posed for a quick selfie with Darth Vader. As I walked out of Target, I saw a very large Darth Vader cutout for taking photographs. That's what those are for. It said, "May the 4th be with you." And I've got three children. They all love Comic-Con, supernova, science fiction stuff. He took a quick selfie and saw a number of kids sitting now nearby and lining up to have their photo taken. I said, "I'll only be a second. I'm taking a selfie to send to my kids." There was no parent present. But a nearby mother mistakenly thought the man was photographing her kids. and snapped her a picture of him as he was taking off, as he was actually just exiting the store in a normal fashion. And she went on her Facebook, terming him a creep and stating she was calling the police. Okay, people, take a look at this creep. Today at Knox, he approached my children when they were sitting in the Frozen movie in the children's clothing section. He said, "Hey, kids." They looked up and he took a photo. Then he said, "I'm sending this to a 16-year-old. I removed the kids, took them to security." I mean, you can see where this is going. Social media vigilantism kicked in. The woman's claim and photographs spread widely across Facebook, and before long, the man was repeatedly contacted by concerned individuals who were surprised to see him alongside the accusations, his name and image. He also received a series of panicked phone calls when he was in a business meeting the following day. And even though the initial Facebook post was corrected, the reach of the retraction, of course, was dwarfed by the original post spread, as it always is. The retraction never goes as far. It's just not as sexy to post the retraction as it is to post the actual thing. He said there's been a number of apologies from some sharers, which I really appreciated. The fact is they've made a mistake out of concern, but in real terms, it was not credible information. Once it's out there, it can't be retracted. And the retraction post has been viewed 1/50th of the times the original post was viewed. We would encourage anyone in a similar situation, according to these are police now speaking, to contact police, report the matter as opposed to turning to social media. Members of the public must not believe everything they read on personal social media pages and refer to reliable sources. Don't just use Facebook as your source for this sort of thing. The woman retracted her initial claim. As of this writing, she has not apologized to the man for her initial post or its effects. Again, not really surprising. And again, she wasn't trying to, this was not motivated from a revenge porn motivational standpoint, right? Many people are just trying to get someone that they hate and ruin their life because they hate them. She didn't know this guy. She didn't have any idea. She just observed what she thought was something mistaken. But instead of saying, "Hey, what the hell were you just doing? Did you just take my kid's picture?" No, she takes his picture. And I mean, again, to confront them may not be a recommended thing either. If there's a violent child predator and he took pictures of kids, he might become violent or something like that. I don't know, but it's hard to decide what would be the best thing to do, except, here's what I do. Whenever I don't take a lot of selfies. I'm not quite of that sort of generation where the selfie thing, you're always taking a picture of yourself, and I see people who are. But when I do, I either ask someone else to take it for me, or so there's kind of no question, or I sort of make it really obvious. Make sure there's nobody in the line of sight of my other facing camera, because you just never know who might accuse. I actually do that, and I did it before this story. Like, I've actually always been really kind of tried to be cognizant of the people who might be seeing you and wondering what the hell you're doing. Now, I'm in the media, so I'm used to people looking at me, and I'm used to sort of talking with people who might be staring at me, saying, "Hey, how's it going?" And that kind of thing. And that may be atypical. I don't know. But I feel like, oh, God, that's a story that really kind of makes me sick, because that's something that could happen to anyone. And again, the retraction viewed 1/50th of the number of times that the actual original post is viewed. There's probably still people reposting that with the guy's actual picture because he didn't hear about the retraction. And, those things catch on like wildfire. It's pretty disturbing. All right. Let's look at the ugly side of GroupOn Condoms. GroupOn Condoms, I hear you say. What the hell? Well, you know what GroupOn is, I hope. GroupOn is, of course, the deal sharing website, whereas if you have a bunch of friends or something like that, you are able to you're able to like get a deal on vacation or some kind of fun event to all go on a group together. If you can do certain things in a group, this GroupOn thing allows you to get a deal. But don't buy condoms that way. I think that's easy enough and safe enough to say. From Salon.com, April 23rd, they have recalled an unspecified quantity of condoms because, well, shit, they might be full of holes. Again, we go to Australia, brought to you by Belch Beer. The Discount Services Australian arm sold counterfeit Durex condoms made of holy latex. All right, let's get into this. The Australian arm of online deals purveyor GroupOn has been forced to recall a whole lot of discounted Durex condoms, quote, Durex condoms, unquote, which turned out to be not the Durex brand at all, rather counterfeits, filled with holes. They fake Extra Safe, Thin Feel, and Performa Durex condoms sold on Groupon from March 12th through April 10th might have serious defects and may not prevent pregnancy or protect against disease. Although ACCC, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, is asking consumers to immediately destroy and dispose of the fakes, a Groupon spokesperson told Mashable Australia the site's offering refunds on returned condoms. Customers are our utmost priority, blah, blah, blah. All customers who purchased counterfeits have been proactively contacted, blah, blah, blah. A full refund has been processed to all customers. If this were the only counterfeit condom story to report this week, there's another. On Wednesday, Chinese officials seized millions of toxic prophylactics that had been tainted with heavy metals, one public safety official claiming the lubricant on the fakes was vomit-inducing. Let's look at the South China Morning Post here, because this is the place for all your fake condom news. cBasAfterDark. Anything can happen Thursday. Police in Shanghai have broken up a gang selling fake condoms in 8 provinces and big cities around China. 3 million condoms were seized, which police said were of poor quality and dangerous to health, as they contained heavy metals. People.com.cn reported. The fakes were labeled as well-known brands like Durex, mainly sold at small hotels. So that's sort of a clue right there, I think. If you go to, buy a condom, go to a fucking drugstore. Maybe you can't in China. I don't know. At a workshop in Henan province, we found a small production line which produced bad quality condoms. The lubricating oil made us vomit, Zhang Wenlang from Shanghai's Yangpu District Public Security Bureau reportedly said. We sent the seized condoms to the quality authorities, and tests show they contained heavy metals. They are very dangerous to humans, not just in the inability to prevent pregnancy or disease, but actually will make you sick as fuck. 9 suspects detained, including a woman who hired packers before selling them via her online shop. The Fake Condom Network, you're watching FCN, the Fake Condom Network, had 9 production and storage sites around the country. Wow. The woman caught packing and selling the condoms was arrested in 2013 for selling fake copies of Viagra and re-entered the business because of the high profits. The fake Durex condoms cost 0.1 yuan, but were sold for 3 yuan. That's $3.80 Hong Kong cents each, I guess. Okay. Hey, while we're on the situation, let me do a search here and find from the WTF file the story from Waffle House. Do you like the Waffle House? Have you been to the Waffle House? Many people sort of go, ew. I gotta say, I've been to the Waffle House and I actually really liked it. I've never had a really horrible experience at the Waffle House from as far as really horrible food. In fact, they make really good, greasy, cheesy omelets the way, you want an omelet to be. If you want an omelet, you don't want a health omelet, and they don't do health omelets. If there's one thing they do at the Waffle House, it's not health food, but there is a bit of an issue at certain Waffle Houses, I suppose you could say. Let's look at this here. Police need your help finding this Waffle House employee who masturbated in the restaurant. Please let this not be as bad as it sounds. Oh, is that his picture? Good Lord. Okay, we take you to Florida, Georgia, close enough. Sorry, I'm trying to wake my mouse up here. It's having a bit of an issue. There we go. Where a Waffle House employee was beating his breakfast meat. Oh, Lord. Thank you, Bro Bible. And a coworker videotaped it. Oh, I mean, all right. Hold on. Hold everything. Okay, instant gross out. Many people were instantly grossed out the second I even mentioned Waffle House. I'm not. I can eat it at Waffle House and like it okay. It's another thing to masturbate in the restaurant. It's yet another thing to have a friend videotaping it. This is right up there. This is going to be on the Saturday show, by the way, as well. The food story. Holy shit. All right, let's get through the story. 36-year-old Emmanuel Williams was caught doing the 5-knuckle shuffle in the dining room of Waffle House in Macon, Georgia. Williams was sitting at a booth facing a window where he feverishly jerked off his custard launcher. This is brobible.com, not really a news site at all, but they do some pretty uniquely interesting stories on this site, which is why you see it pop up more than rarely on cBasAfterDark. Oh, I see. It was a female employee. That doesn't make it really any better. But he announced to his coworker he was going to beat off. The woman was on the phone at the time and didn't think he was serious. However, when she finished her call, she walked over to see if he was really doing it, and he was. You have to at least respect Williams because he's a man of his word. She began recording the jerk off with her phone because she knew no one would believe her. Okay. So she was filming it to kind of get him caught, it sounded like. Not really because he wanted her to. That makes it a slight bit less ew. The woman told Williams he's a pervert, to which he responded, "I'm not a pervert, I'm just a freak." Seems like semantics, but touche. The coworker told Williams she was going to upload the video to the internet. He just kept on cranking and continued to masturbate. Finally, the female employee came to terms with the situation and told him she hopes he washes his hands. Cleanliness is next to godliness. The video was uploaded to Facebook, because where else would you go for Waffle House porn? I'm sorry, that could get your Facebook taken down. The restaurant worker only formally reported the incident after she began receiving threatening messages from Facebook. Threatening Facebook messages from Williams and his girlfriend. His girlfriend didn't like it. The woman said she was afraid to return to the Waffle House because she thinks they're going to come to her job and fight her. He was terminated immediately. All right, now that we've done that, let's just do a news search. Just type in Waffle House, Macon, Georgia. Yeah, okay, well, so there's all the legit news sites. Caught pleasuring himself, caught on video. New York Daily News says he's wanted. Cops are looking for him. This is as of 2 days ago. Police search. Police finally found the man. That's what I wanted. Now, this is deathandtaxesmag.com. Again, not a news site, but it's the only one with the update that seems to say, Smoking Gun has it. Is there a link to the Smoking Gun site? I would rather... Oh, my God. In other public spanking news, at least 8 Americans have been caught jacking off at Walmart since 2013. We have, in fact, covered that, cases of that before. Not all 8, but, I mean, really, you really only need 1. All right. He surrendered to police on public indecency and probation violation counts. He will also be served with a warrant charging him with violation of sex offender registry for failing to disclose his employment at Waffle House to law enforcement officials. And it looks like the rest of this is pretty much the same. There he is. He's not a pervert. He's just a freak. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, yes, here's even the claim here. She stated he responded by saying he wasn't a pervert, he was just a freak. Oh, and I love looking at the actual redacted police document. When I arrived, I spoke with the complainant. Let's zoom this in a little bit here. She stated to me that because of the incident that occurred, she was receiving threats from the suspects and his girlfriend. The complainant stated that on May 4th, she and blank suspect were working at Waffle House on Pio Nono Avenue. Wouldn't you love to go to that Waffle House now? I bet there's still people going, completely unaware. She stated it was around lunchtime and they weren't busy. Lunchtime? A midday masturbate. Okay, why not? She stated they were the only 2 in the restaurant. That's not surprising. I guess middle of the day, Waffle House, kind of quiet. It seems like a late night eatery or when there's no place else open. That should be Waffle House's slogan, in fact. Hey, it's late. She stated that while she was talking to her, she was on her cell phone handling business. She stated she didn't really take the suspect serious. She stated that while she was on her phone, she noticed the suspect's hands were moving up and down as if he were masturbating. The complainant stated that when she got off the phone, she walked over to the suspect to see if he was really jacking his penis, and he was. She stated to me that's when she started recording him. She said the reason why she recorded him was because she knew no one would believe her when she told them. Kind of looks like there's some occasional bits of grammar correction here. She stated that as she was recording him, she was telling him the whole time she was recording him and that he was a pervert. She stated that he responded by saying he wasn't a pervert, he was just a freak. She stated that she told him not to be surprised if the video show up anywhere else, and he stated that he didn't care. She stated that he continued on until he masturbated. I believe that should mean he ejaculated. She stated that after he masturbated, she hopes he washes his hands. Some way the video ended up being posted on Facebook, and it went viral. Wouldn't you love to see that? I'm sorry. I mean, even if you're not into watching guys jack off, I would just... I gotta say, I kind of wish I could see it. Now, I'm not going to go looking for it here or after the show. Frankly, I've got videos of many more attractive men doing that, so there's no need. But, I mean, just sort of, except for the unbelievableness of it. Okay. let's all wash ourselves off. Hey, let's do one of my favorite things here. It's time for porno titles. That's correct. I collect porno titles. I don't have cable television. All I do is pretty much watch the video online. I've cut the cable, as many of us have, and proudly so. But every so often I go to my parents' house. My parents have old-fashioned cable. They cannot wrap their brains around watching video online other than YouTube videos. They don't really get internet TV. They don't really understand. My mom can do Netflix, but my dad likes to just surf. Doesn't understand even the digital guide on the screen to tell you what's going on. And my mom actually uses that old booklet, the TV Week that comes in the Sunday newspaper with the grid, and swears to God that she can go down that grid and see more quickly what's on TV of interest than I can in the guide. And I've tried to show them the guide. My mom likes on demand because she understands the value of it. But every time, like, my dad said, oh, there was a story on NBC News. I wish I could see it. And I'm like, I had 3 keystrokes. I've got that night's NBC Nightly News playing again on the on-demand. He's like, how did you do that? And I'm like, well, it's right there. It's functionality you're paying for, Pop. And I don't mean to make fun of them for that. But one of the things I notice, because again, they don't have the sort of awareness or the wherewithal to do things like screen out the porno channels. Now, those porno channels will not come up if you scan to them. You have to pay for that. And you have to pay for like the digital pay-per-view. But they show up in the guide unless you turn them off. And one of my things about seeing them in the guide is, okay, you're looking at sports, Golf Channel, ESPN2, ESPN9, ESPN12. Hey, look, it's the Deflate channel. Where all they show is people deflating footballs all goddamn day, because that's what the NFL is. But okay, you scroll down. Movie channels: HBO 9, HBO Comedy, HBO Reruns, Showtime, Movie Channel, Cinemax, and then you go far enough down, and you get to the special channels, and they just have the titles right there. All of a sudden, you're looking at Ocean's 11, CNN with Wolf Blitzer, da da da. Oh, look at this. It's, jack off at Waffle House or whatever it is. And when I see these titles there, my eyeballs pop out of my head. I try not to do it with my mom or dad in the room, because that's just a little bit embarrassing, because then I am writing down the titles. It's actually true. I do that. But let's see. Let me find my file of porn titles here, because holy God. Some of them are just brilliant. All right. Here we go. 12-inch hole destroyer. 50 Shades of Sex. Okay, as if 50 Shades of Grey wasn't sort of sexual enough. We actually have a porn movie apparently named after it. Amateur Teens Made to Scream. I wish those ones were that sort of almost a rhyme. I wish they would work harder, because they seem like with just a little bit of work, they could actually make an actual legitimate rhyme. And it's so much more delicious, and pardon that phrase, it's so much better if it actually rhymes legitimately. As opposed to teen with an N and scream with an M. An N and an M do not make the same sound, and words that try to rhyme like that do not rhyme. For freaks only. Not for freaks only. For freaks only, number 8. Okay? So, and those another thing a sub-favorite category of mine within these porn titles is when you get to such and such 7 or something like that. It's like, holy shit, there have been 6 more of those? If we tuned in now, we'd see the 7th most recent one. Slutty Red Riding Hood. Almost. I mean, that's practically next to the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon. Slutty Red Riding Hood. Granny Loves 20-Year-Old Guys. Ugh. Ooh. Puked a little bit in my mouth there. Mandingo Bangs My Wife. Is a mandingo? That's not a dingo. A dingo's the dog. What's a mandingo? I don't even know. But Mandingo Bangs My Wife. That was another porn title. Bro, I banged my buddy's mom. I mean, imagine scrolling and seeing that go by. Bro, it's not just I banged my buddy's mom. That would be good enough. But the bro sends it up a level. Gag on my pole. Okay, kind of traditional. 10 nut glazed faces. That was on the Food Network. No, it was not. Could have been. D Mega Boob Slam. Hammered Wide Open. Okay, again, not all that clever, but just seeing it there next to, the Weather Channel and the Food Network and stuff. Full on facial filth. Okay, I like that. That's got some alliteration going on, right? The triple F. Full on facial filth, and not with the F word, not with the word fuck. Okay. And again, you have to I have to wonder how gross this is. It makes me think gross. The gross light goes on in my mind when I see this next title. 100% taboo step sex. Now, my parents have been married the whole time. I've never had a step brother or step sister. I still feel like doing stuff with your step brother or step sister sexually would be an ew situation. I guess some people are into that. I don't know. Here we go again with the alliteration. Bogota brothel bang, number 6. Okay. Bogota brothel bang. There's some international flavor in there with the Colombian Bogota. It's a Colombian brothel, so it's obviously very sexual. Bogota brothel bang, 6, number 6. So yes, for the 6th movie, it's called The Undiscovered Country. And no, it's not. That's Star Trek 6, of course. The Undiscovered Country. And last but not least, Black Pole Hole Hammering. Black Pole Hole Hammering. BPHH. I'm just trying to there's sort of a rhythmic thing going on there. It doesn't really rhyme. It's not really alliterative, but Black Pole Hole Hammering. What's it called? Not alliteration, but assonance, right? Assonance is where the end of the word sounds the same. Pole hole. It's not a rhyme, but the two words next to each other have a similar sound. That's called assonance for you really geeky, nerdy grammarians. Okay, and here's some of my previous file, which also popped up. 10 best bush bang, hot load slurpers, little teen sex machine. That's a good rhyme, right? Een and een, little teen sex machine. Pound my round booty, again with the not rhyme, but the assonance there. Mother blows best. First time stepsons. Okay. That's just making me think from before. Black magic meat. Easily could have been on the Food Network. Amateur hoe-bangers. Girl on girl sex lick fest. 12 thug shaft in white girls. That may be 12-inch thug shaft in white girls. Again, some of these are not even trying to be artful. That's just a basic description of what we're going to see. 12-inch thug shaft in white girls. 65 and older gilf filth. Okay. Now here's the thing. It grosses me out because of the 65 and older aspect. But the sound of gilf filth. Now again, gilf would be grandfather I'd like to fuck or grandmother I'd like to fuck, which is off my radar screen entirely. But I like the auditory effect of gilf filth. It's not a rhyme, but that's just this far away from a rhyme. Like that's close, much closer than the one I said before that ends in an N and the other word that ends in an M. Check dat black butt 6. Oh, I have breaking news. I hate to do that here, so I'm going to separate from this, and we're going to. I'll just reset. We'll do more porn titles another night on Anything Can Happen Thursday. It's one of my favorite things to do. You won't see any porn here. You won't see, me acting anything out. I'm not going to put up any pornographic stills or video of any kind, but I just like reading the titles because it's very entertaining. Every so often, something happens on the air here when I'm live, and I get lots of news updates of all kinds. And very often the news alert pushed through, at any time of the day or night. That's how I found out about the big train crash the other day, which is obviously very serious. Now 8 people are dead. I'm a big train guy. I love the train. And, I actually like Amtrak. I've ridden a lot of Amtrak over the recent years, and it's actually not been a bad experience. I much, much prefer it to airplane travel. It's not as fast. That's in its favor. I'm sorry, but it is. Like, it's much more relaxed. It's much, everything is 1,000% better on Amtrak, even in coach class, than it is on the airplane, despite the fact that it takes 24 hours instead of just 6 hours or whatever it is. So I found out about the train crash, live on the air. There was also a quintuple murder-suicide. A guy killed 4 members of his family and himself locally in the town where I am here, and that popped in, and I sort of had to deliver that news live. But I have an obituary. So this is a kind of calmer, more chill, but it's a famous obituary. 89-year-old blues legend B.B. King has died in Las Vegas. Wait a minute. All of a sudden, having read that out loud, I'm thinking, didn't that break like a week ago? Why did I just get a news alert about that? Let's just do a quick go to the news page here and pull up another page, because I feel like that's something I've seen already. And news, B.B. King. There was another. If this is actually true, and it's new, then there was another one that died recently. Family member. Okay, this is new. I think this is new. These are all saying 6 minutes ago, CBS, 9 minutes ago, Washington Post, ABC News, 11 minutes ago. There was another blues legend that died very recently, though. Sky News 3 minutes ago, Fox News 1 minute ago. Let me just type in, who did Stand By Me? Okay, Ben E. King, that's the one. Because he died like 7 or 8 days ago. Ben E. King died back on May 1st, so that's now 2 weeks ago. He did Stand By Me. The one that died tonight, sadly, is B.B. King, not Ben E. King. So they even had the last name. That's what made me think of that. Okay. So, yeah, there we go. Let's just look at the ABC News story here. Not that I'm going to finish on this note, because this is obviously very sad. It didn't look like he was in good health. His attorney said, oh, that's just a one-line obit from the AP is all that is. So sad. Let's look at a picture of him just to be... There's B.B. King in his jazz. Here's a nice picture of him young from many years ago. I really like B.B. King. I liked a lot of jazz. Most people don't sort of think of me as being a jazz fan, and I really do like jazz. And, you know, many songs are sort of classics kind of universally. So I feel like that was true of Stand By Me for Ben E. King, was that everybody knew that song. I mean, in large part because of the movie that came out bearing the same name. But again, it's a sad situation whenever I get an obit to report and it happens live here on a thing. Let's look at the last story I wanted to bring to you here. Skeletons on the lake. Do you remember this? I had this last week. In Arizona, skeletons in lawn chairs were found. They were discovered to be fake. And in fact, let's see. Can we find the video of the skeletons on the lake and play them for you here? Because yes, there we go. Okay. We'll look at quickly of the video of the skeletons on the lake, because that was a weird story. This is from the mirror.uk, but it actually happened here. Yes, thank you. Cookie warning there. And again, all you hear, if I'm not mistaken, is the sound of the person in the scuba gear. You hear the sound of the scuba breathing. Oh, there's going to be an ad. So let's just reset. There's a picture of it really fast. Divers who are having fun were stunned to find two skeletons having a tea party. They were wearing sunglasses and in chairs. They were quickly determined to be fake. A horrified swimmer called police after spotting the skulls and bones. They called it the fire brigade, who sent in one of their diving team, firefighter Eric Forstner, to investigate. Here we go. I'm going to full screen this just for maximum effect, because this is quite a video. And there's the skeleton. And there's the other skeleton. It said they're having a tea party. I mean, I don't know if there's any tea involved, but they're in like lawn chairs with sunglasses on. And there's a sign on one of them that I think we can get a close look at. You can't quite read every word on the sign, but what you can read is an approximate date, which says 2014, and the word Bernie, as in Weekend at Bernie's. Bernie, something dream, in the river, 8/16/2014, right? Okay, so you can see there's Bernie. And Bernie's friend or wife or whatever. They're clearly wearing sunglasses. Anyway, that's not the update. That was what we brought you last week on Anything Can Happen Thursday. The update now is that the pranksters have come forward. Again, it should be the Arizona news site I go to, but this is from Jacksonville, Florida, I guess. And from Siena de Springs, KPHO is the station where we first heard about this. A Phoenix couple has come forward claiming responsibility, according to the Associated Press. They have yet to identify themselves publicly, but decided to come forward after seeing the media attention given to the prank. The AP reports the county sheriff in La Paz County does not plan on filing charges. These skeletons are named Bernie and Bernadette. They could be staying on the bottom of the river. Authorities say the props don't pose any threats to lake goers, and they could be used as a geocache, the AP story said. The skeletons, which were found tied to rocks sitting in lawn chairs, were initially spotted by a snorkeler. I was sort of like glancing at the comments, not that they're always good. One person says, leave them, nice prank, and something to dive for. Get it? Now smile. This person says, not sure how this is funny, entertaining, or clever. Sounds like criminal mischief by bored adults that should have known better. I say throw the book at them and death by stone. Video is creepy. I'm against it. Bah humbug. Maybe that's a guy trying to be sort of satirical in his own way. Are all of these just going to be the same AP story, or are we going to see maybe something... couple behind fake skeletons? Oh yes, this is the story I saw. This is the actual AP story with quotes from Lieutenant Kurt Bagby. They were nervous at first. They thought they might be in trouble, but when they finally came in, they brought a photo as proof they were the ones who put them there. They may identify themselves publicly next week. They're not going to file charges. We try not to encourage people to do this kind of thing, but it was relatively harmless. It was deep water. They were wedged between some rocks. There was no reason to expect someone would find them. Again, why would they be there unless they were going to be found? The sign includes the words Bernie and Dream in the river, though the entire sign was not legible. Also had the date of August 16th, 2014. Didn't even make it a full year before they were found. The couple told deputies how they and another diver placed the skeletons on lawn chairs, tying them to underwater rocks. The group thought it would make for a humorous landmark. According to Bagby, all three have returned to the site several times to clean the skeleton. It was in March they added the second skeleton. Unless federal agencies have any issues, these skeletons will remain in place. We're thinking of leaving them in the waterway, something like a geocache where we can let divers try to find them. I can't see this as being a liability or risk to lakegoers. So there you have it. We'll leave it on a happy note this week. It's been quite an interesting show. Of course, Nerd News Monday, let's take a quick look at some of the things we'll be covering on Nerd News Monday, because I've got a whole lot of nerd stories and some really good game show shit. Something came out today for Game Show Tuesday next week. It's going to blow your fucking mind. If you're into game shows at all like me, I'm really excited because they did a multicam of The Price is Right. Somebody released a video of The Price is Right. Now, whether or not you like The Price is Right is one thing. It's one of the few game shows we actually have left. I'm not a huge fan of it. I like Drew Carey, okay. I like some of the games. I like to watch the mountain climber guy fall off the end when they lose. I find that fascinating as hell. But as for the actual game show, I can kind of give or take The Price is Right. But that changed today when I saw a 6-camera multi-view of how The Price is Right goes together. We're going to watch a lot of that next Game Show Tuesday. Not the whole thing, because it's an hour long, and I only go for 90 minutes here anyway. But let's see. Coming up in Nerd News next week, we got a bunch of good stories. Why world maps are wrong. Disguised cell phone towers. I'm big into that. I think that's cool when they actually take the work. Some people are really troubled by a cell phone tower and the ugliness of it. And so there have been places that try to disguise them as palm trees. Not very good, but sort of if you're not really looking close, you can't tell. Here in the place where I am in the desert, you actually see saguaro cactus looking. Again, they're not perfect, but if you're just glancing by, you won't know. For people who have virgin ears, a new software will let you swear, or will let you censor any swearing in videos you watch on your phone. I don't know whose virgin ears need that. Exploring tech topics of the future from the past. In other words, remember Lisa Simpson's comment in The Simpsons about, yes, Epcot Center. That's what people thought the 1990s would be in 1960, you know, or whatever, something like that. That's really funny to me. The Impossible Engine of NASA. We'll look at quasi-crystals and what they are. What to do when a software service you love goes away. There was a pretty interesting story on Lifehacker this week. A really cool clock. You know what? I'm even going to pull up this clock because I got to have this clock. The LED word clock. This is the last thing I'm going to show you, and then we're going to call it a week. By the way, join me on Saturday for the food show, the fast food, junk food podcast show. I do it every Saturday with my partner. Hopefully my partner will be returning this week. But last but not least, I leave you with a look at the LED word clock. If I can here. Here we go. This is all kinds of crazy clocks from the website ThinkGeek. The one I want to show you, I really like that supernova light cube. How come I don't see the LED word clock here? You gotta be kidding me. All right, hang on. I have another picture of it though. The LED word clock. It tells time like people do, according to the article. And let's just put it here. Yes, there we go. Okay, check it out. It lights up the word according to what time it is. It is 25 minutes past 10 are the words that it lit up. Ridiculous. And I absolutely, positively must have that clock. All right. I'm a minute over my time. Make it a great weekend, everybody. Have a great Thursday night. I'm cBas. This is cBas After Dark.